quickly if you want to come to the front. Introducing the Cape Town Blitz coach Ashwell Prince. I'll open up the floor straight away.
I thought you said that before we start knowing that game would be English.
Yeah, look, I think sport is funny. Maybe that was the case. You know, it's tough. At the end of the day, I think throughout the tournament there's a lot of pressure, and I suppose before the game started, a lot of that tension would have been taken out and out of the fixture, and maybe also a bit of urgency. Having said that, credit to the Dolphins, I think they. Well, it's Dolphins guys, eh? Durban Heat played well.
And also just in terms of do you think about making a couple of changes before the game once you knew? Do you think maybe getting Calvert-Lewin and Jason Smith?
No, absolutely not. I think we decided on the starting 11 this morning, and you know, these guys are professionals, so you know, before we came to the ground, we didn't know if we were going to need to win the game or not, so that's what we decided this morning, and that's what we stuck with. You know, maybe later on there was an opportunity, but there's also you also want to get some players into form before the final, so you know, it's a bit of a double-edged sword with maybe giving one or two guys a game, but other people having to find some form before the final.
Just on that, how do you feel about that middle order form?
Well, I think it's look, at the end of the day, it's quite simple. We sat here 3 weeks ago. We lost 2 more games against Power Rocks, and people said, you know, how do you feel? What do you think? At the end of the day, games that don't matter don't matter. So that's the bottom line. Games that doesn't matter. Today's game didn't matter. Sunday's game will matter, and it's about turning up when it matters.
Just on that, you're off for a week now after sort of playing quite often. Is that a good thing that you guys had quite a busy schedule to have a couple of days off, or would you rather not have 7 whole days off and sort of maybe struggle to get going again?
I would much rather not have to play a playoff. So I'm happy about not having to play a playoff. But having said that, you know, we got to obviously try and make sure that we get the guys as best prepared as possible for the final.
I just want to know about the commitment of your Pakistan players. I'm pleased that you've been with them.
Yeah, I think they've been obviously. Nawaz has been steady, solid player, good cricketer. Asif Ali has obviously had that one massive innings in Durban, his first game. We've seen glimpses. We've seen him hit the ball out of the ground comfortably. At other times, maybe pacing his innings, he's been going a bit too aggressive too early, and then losing his wicket. Look, at the end of the day, I think whoever we're up against in the final will know that somebody like Asif Ali's got 80 and 30 balls in him, and I think for himself it's good to know that as well. And I think he's aware of his capabilities. Some games he's gone in with maybe 2 or 3 overs left, and he's tried to maximize that. So you sky the ball, you get out, and you know, on paper it looks like there's no form. Today he looked like he's just getting back into it, and he actually, you know, came to me afterwards, said he tried to keep that one down as it is a short boundary. You know, it's sort of maybe towards the long boundary, it would have dropped short for a single, carries out to the short boundary, so a bit of bad luck. But I think whoever we're up against will know what he's capable of.
I thought you dropped quite a few catches today. Is there anything specific that you can put that down?
Well, that was quite disappointing. That probably cost us the game in the end. So, look, you know, nobody drops a catch on purpose. But maybe the intensity just dropped down a bit in terms of knowing that it's not a must-win game, but it's never a good thing to come into the team environment. But I'm sure the guys would be disappointed having lost today, especially after posting in a day fixture, I think, a very competitive score.
Have you, with regards to your Proteas players like Delal and Quinton, have you seen afraid learning lessons that they've taught the youngsters? Have you seen the effect that they've had on young players?
Yeah, Dale has been quite vocal in the team meetings. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience, especially on away fixtures at the other grounds, and trying to sort of get those characteristics of the particular grounds over to the young players, and obviously discussing fields and different skills and plans with the young bowlers and the captain has been quite good at discussing those as well with the young players. And Quinny is Quinny, talks with the bat.
Although you lost today, I mean, overall you're still sitting in the power seat. You got out in the final. Can you just tell us about the campaign and what you thought the positives were of the campaign?
I think the biggest positive is that over the course of the campaign, we started obviously not having the South African players here. Also, one of the Pakistani players wasn't here. He only arrived in time for the second game. So right at the start, we needed the youngsters. They stepped up, they delivered. And then people came in and out as the tournament sort of developed. And most of the time, we've had different people stick their hand up in different matches. Asif's getting at 80 or 33 balls in the second game. The bowlers have been outstanding most of the tournament. And then obviously towards the end now, the last few games, Quinton has been outstanding.
Coach, what has prompted your belief in a lot of the youngsters? I mean, you played the likes of the rain at number 3, why you just joined them in. What has prompted that belief that you have in these guys?
The thing is that, life is about opportunity. So for me, I know what they're capable of, but it's one thing being capable, but never getting an opportunity to show what you can do. So at the end of the day, there's two ways of looking at it. You can look at only getting people into your squad that have they've got a track record of 5, 10, 8 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be, and you just go with people who's been there, done that. For me, in putting a team together, putting a squad together, of course you need players who've been around the block and experienced players. But I also believe a very, very valuable player is a young player with a lot of talent, and the only thing he needs is an opportunity to display that talent. And we've got a lot of them in the squad, and when called upon, they've been outstanding.
And also there's a message that's doing the rounds on social media where you basically just back in the league. Can you just tell us what prompted that, just for you to take time?
I did what, sorry?
Just that message that's doing the rounds on social media.
What message?
The one that you spoke about, the one that you put out.
The one that you typed out and you
Back in the-
social media.
You're back in the league, yeah.
Oh, the league.
Yeah. Just tell us more about that.
Well, it's quite self-explanatory, is it not? I mean, look, at the end of the day, I've read some things maybe on Twitter and on some articles that has been a little bit negative, or sometimes very negative. At the end of the day, it's the first edition of the tournament. It's not going to be perfect. People mentioning, overseas players coming in and out. At the end of the day, these guys have other commitments around the world. The league was put together quite late, so I think we've done fairly well. Like I said in the message, even during the tournament, once these guys have obviously completed other commitments, I've had some big name players asking to come to Cape Town Blitz after their T10 tournaments or whatever the case may be. Obviously, you can't replace an international player with another international player unless they're injured, so it wasn't possible to bring other people into the squads. But the interest out there is massive. I don't know, maybe I'll speak for myself. I don't know about the other teams and other coaches. But there's definitely been some big name players trying to get into this tournament even at the late stage.
Actually, just seeing that the Polar Hawks did you guys a favour this week, and keen to see them playing them in the final next week Sunday.
We won the most games in the tournament. I'm not sure about favours.
Are you keen to see them? Would you like to play them in the All Cape final?
Well, that would be nice. I mean, it'd be good for Western Cape cricket if the Power Rocks were in the final. but I'd like to think we earned the right to be there.
Any more questions, guys? Just in terms of the final will be played at BBC Newlands on Sunday, 3:30. Tickets have been announced as R100 for seated tickets and R80 for grass tickets. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ashwell.
Thank you.